Welcome again to Football's Global Hub. This is my match reaction of the Revs' victory against CF Montreal. And this is my first episode that I'm talking exclusively about the New England Revolution. I'll be doing several shows about the Revolution, but obviously be talking about other subjects as well. But in regards to the Revolution, this match reaction show is my 5 takeaways, which I'll be going through and probably between the next 15 minutes to a half hour. I have a lot to talk about in regards to this 3-0 victory, and I'll be going through it throughout this episode. I do want to mention that Football's Global Hub is now on YouTube. So please do subscribe on YouTube. I don't think I have any subscribers on YouTube. Please do subscribe on YouTube. I'm going to be doing many shows, also broadcasting live that will be on YouTube. It isn't right now, but it will be hopefully very soon. So please do subscribe on YouTube. If you want to listen back to the show, please do check us out on Spotify. I am not on Apple Podcasts yet, but please do check it out on Spotify. Great way to listen back to this brand new show, my second episode. My first episode with Gustavo Lopez was a lot of fun. I'm flying solo on this one, and I'm just going to share my 5 takeaways. I do this with Fulham Football Club as often as I can. I'm doing it for the New England Revolution as well. Like I said, there's a lot to get to in this victory. I watched the match. I hope you did. But if you didn't, I think you were missing a very interesting match to watch. And again, you could see it as being 2 poor teams playing. I don't view it that way. Maybe it wasn't as exciting as some might want, but it's a victory, and that's the bottom line. It's a victory, and I'll go through all of it coming up. We'll start with my initial reaction. And I think this is a great place to get going on this because when I'm watching the match, first thing I'm going to talk about, I love the surface. I hope that the surface continues. I doubt it will after the World Cup, but I think the surface actually just improves the product, improves the safety of the player. There's so much to love about a grass surface. So I'm glad that it is at Gillette Stadium right now. That's number one, because I think it improves the product. Definitely improves the product. Better passing, better connecting. I'm telling you, the grass surface is the best in the world, and I hope the Revolution keep this grass surface at Gillette Stadium, but I have my doubts that they're going to do that. So, like I mentioned, when you look at the victory, and first thoughts are, I've seen the comments, 2 poor teams, well, CF Montreal, one of the worst teams in the league. Well, it's early in the season. They might not turn out to be one of the worst teams, but I think it's 2 teams struggling to figure out who they're going to be, their identity. I think the Revolution are on their way. CF Montreal are dangerous, but do not have anything, in my opinion, with any cutting edge. That's what they were missing in this match. I thought they were dangerous throughout the match, but just lacked that cutting edge, as we would say. But overall, there's a lot to like about what I'm seeing from the Revolution. And I would say it's a learning process. And I'll go through that in my 5 takeaways. This is not the finished product. This is a product that has a long way to get to where I think all the supporters want it to be. It's in its beginning stages under Mitrovic, but you're seeing it slowly come together. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking that the Revs are hard to break down. I like the fact that they are very good on the counter, very good in transition. I'm liking that too. So there's a lot to like, but there's also some things that I don't like. And I think over time, we're going to have to see how it all plays out. And that's going to lead to me to talk about the starting 11. So when I tweeted this out, because I do this with Fulham, I'm going to do it here with Revolution as well. If I like the starting 11, I'm going to tell you so. I'll tell you the reasons why. And if I have issues with it, I'm going to share that as well. Well, I have an issue here because when I look at the starting 11, and I think Marco's trying to figure out his best starting 11, and I don't think he has gotten there yet. And listen, this player is what I would call, he is a Jag, just a guy. He is what I would think was a squad player, but he's being asked to start. And Will Sands as a left back is a weakness. Now, he played decent in this match, decent. But overall, you need better than Will Sands as your left back. That's going to lead to the situation with Peyton Miller, which I'll be getting to in my 5 takeaways. But that to me was a glaring issue when I looked at the back four, because you need a solid back four. Eli Feingold is your right back, and your 2 center backs are Fofana and Sabalos. They are rock solid. So, but you do have a weakness, and teams will take advantage of that weakness. And right now, in my opinion, it's left back. Could that be fixed by playing Peyton Miller? I don't know, because maybe you should be playing Peyton Miller further up the pitch. That's what I might do if I found another left back. And maybe that's exactly what the Revolution needs. It's funny because Gustavo Lopes was talking about this in our first episode, and I tend to agree with him. And then you have up front on the left-hand side, he's been talking about Marco experimenting with Yusuf over there. Now he played Yao over there, and I don't think you're getting enough at your left wing position. That's why I really liked what I saw from Peyton Miller, obviously at the very end of the match. He might be your solution. I don't know. But what I've learned from looking at the starting 11, that I don't think Marco has figured it out yet, because there could be some moving parts. I understand what he's trying to do. And I will tell you this, I can really relate to the style of play that Marco is instilling here, because right now I'm telling you, and I watch Fulham each and every match, the style of play is extremely similar. They're trying to win the same way. They're playing the same way. So I can relate to what Marco's trying to instill in the Revolution, because I watch Fulham Football Club. It is really the same thing. So I can really bring what I've seen from Fulham to the Revolution and talk about the strengths and weaknesses. And like I said, right now, I do see some weaknesses, and I'll be talking about that in my takeaways. All right. So let's get to it. So here are my takeaways. And like I said, I do this with Cottage Talk, so now I'm going to do it with this show as well. Let's start with number 5. And we have to start with Luca Langoni. Now, his career with the Revolution has not been the greatest. Came in as, a designated player. You're expecting a lot from a player like this. And expectations were high, and he hasn't really fulfilled those expectations. However, I can also talk about this in regards to Fulham. I'll probably reference him a lot, so you might not like that. Sorry, I'm probably going to be doing it. When you play a player out of position or in a different system, you just might not get the most out of him. The system last year that the coach used did not suit Luca Langoni. It was like fitting a square peg into a round hole. It just doesn't work. I witnessed that with Tom Kearney for a year at Fulham until he was moved centrally. Then it all clicked. With Langoni, he should be out on the right as a winger, as a true winger, attacking. And I got to tell you, very dangerous. Follow up on the goal. He scores a goal off of the great opportunity set up from Eli Feingold to a Turgeman, and he's right there at the right place, the right time, puts in the back of the net. And he also almost set up a second goal. And, well, he did ultimately set up a second goal. I was going to say the opportunity from Turgeman. Later on, you do get the second goal off of a set piece from Langoni. And Langoni has been very valuable on delivering set pieces. It's been great. That's been one of the things that I like what this coaching staff has done. They're trying to figure out what they do and what they don't have. And Langoni's very good at delivering on set pieces. But I think you're starting to see that this player is a very valuable player. And it just might be suiting coming to a new league, coming into a new system, and being played in the right way, in the right system. Now you are seeing Luca Langoni thrive. And I just want to say I'm happy for him, but I'm also happy for us Revolution supporters that we can now see this and not have to see over and over again that he's a bust. Well, he's not a bust, and he's not going to be a bust. Luca Langoni can play. He just ultimately needed some time. All players are on a different periphery. They're on a different time scale. Well, now Langoni is coming good, and we should all be embracing that. I argue that with Adam Buksa. I talked about that often, about Adam Buksa, because people used to kill Adam Buksa, and it used to bother me. A lot, the abuse that Buksa used to get. And I thought, you just got to give Buksa a chance. Just got to give him a chance. And once you give him a chance, he would thrive. It took a little time for Adam Buksa to thrive, but once he did, I got to tell you, he became the striker that everyone is happy that he turned into, and really helped the Revolution during a really important period in their history. So for me, sometimes you got to give players time to thrive. That's the way I look at it. And I think Langoni is a perfect example of that. And I think so often supporters will make that quick judgment. He sucks, he blows. Mentioning Tony Maserati, who used to always say that, still says that. But he doesn't. He just, in my opinion, was played in the wrong system, played out of position. Now he's played in the right position, the right system, and it's working. So I think the best is yet to come from Luca Langoni. That's my number 5 takeaway. Number 4, and this is also going to be talking a little bit about Langoni. There is a dramatic improvement to scoring opportunities on set pieces like I've never seen watching the Revolution before. And this goes to the coaching staff. They're doing an incredible job, a wonderful job. And obviously spending a lot of time, more clubs are doing this, really spending a significant amount of time looking for set plays and on set pieces. And you can see it paying off. The Revolution should have scored 2 goals off of set pieces. One, Ceballos just missed. So again, these opportunities are coming, and it's not by accident. And I think Langoni being the one delivering it is helping a great deal. You would think, well, it's got to be Carlos Hill, but maybe Langoni is much better at it. And I shouldn't say much better, just better at it. So this is working, and this is going to help the Revolution throughout the season as they figure out how to win matches, because as I'll get into coming up shortly, right now they're a work in progress. And when the Revolution have the ball, they are struggling to really control a game. That's the reality. They are a transition team, beating teams on the counter. That's where they're at their best. So when you have opportunities on set pieces, this to me can offset the growth of that it's going to take for the Revolution to come up to speed when they do have the ball. They're going to have to take advantage of opportunities and set pieces. They're already doing it. That is a huge benefit. That's why that's my number 4 takeaway. Number 3, what is the best position for Peyton Miller? I'm asking, where does he suit the Revolution and himself? Where does he fit? So as I mentioned before, when I talked about the starting 11, this is an issue that I think that they have. One, I think we all know this. Peyton Miller's time with the Revolution is limited because he will be going to a bigger club. That's just the reality. So in the meantime, it's about getting the most out of him and his development as a player in the time that he is with the Revolution. So right now, I truly believe the Revolution have an issue at left back. I think Peyton Miller should be your left back. And as I was speaking to Gustavo Lopes, we were talking about his development, and Gustavo from our episode, again, he's not sure about his defending, and I can understand that. But right now, I just think Will Sands is an average to potentially below average left back, and that becomes a weakness that teams can take advantage of. So for me, I might be able to live with some defensive deficiencies. That actually goes against a lot of what I believe in. But in this case, with the issue that they're having a left back, I might be willing to do that because it will be offset what he brings going forward. And that's a lot because he is an offensive threat. And I'm going to give you another comparison to a Fulham player, and it's going to make you sick, but I'm just going to do it. Ryan Sessegnon was at one point 6 or 7 years ago thought to be the next big thing in England. He was. And he was a left back, or is a left back, but he can also play as a winger. And that's been the issue with Ryan Sessegnon. What is the best position for him? Because he can do both. So now we go to a situation with Peyton Miller. He is great going forward. His goal, the chip, that's fantastic. And that just shows the ability that he has. So should he be playing as a left winger? Maybe. Because right now you're starting to try to figure out that left wing position. I don't think you have that nailed down yet. Is it going to be Yao? Is it going to be Yusuf? Or could it be Peyton Miller? Or should Peyton Miller be a left back? This is the problem for Marco, but it's not a small problem because you have this talent. And I don't want to see, and I understand he's coming back from an injury, but at some point he needs to be a starter. So the question is, when he does start, what's the best position? What's the best way to use Peyton Miller? I'm conflicted here because I think there is a need at left back, but I think ultimately, in the long run, his best position might be as a left winger, but the need right now is a left back. It's just an interesting conundrum that I think the Revolution could be dealing with. And like I said, if they make the decision to make him a left winger, then go get another left back this summer, please. Nothing against Will Sands, but he's just a squad player. The Revs need better than just a squad player. Number two, the Revs players are buying into Marko Mitrovic's style of play. Mitrovic, there's a little bit of a Goldman. Goldman, if anyone isn't familiar with, is a mistake that I always say on my other shows. So when you hear me say it's a Goldman, that is a mistake. So let's talk about the style of play. And I'm, again, very familiar with the style of play. It is the way Fulham play. So I can see it. I can see the passages of play, what is being tried by the Revolution, trying to play the ball out from the back. It's not working right now. In other matches, I've seen Carlos Gil come way back because he's being used as that player to get the ball moving forward. That's what Marco Silva uses with his number 10. It's the same thing. It's the same. They're playing the same exact way. But until you get it nailed down, it can be dangerous. It can lead to errors that could cost you. And I think we've already seen that. So to play this way, it is truly a work in progress. That's what we are watching right now. We are watching a work in progress, but they're buying in. And they are totally buying in. And that's where I want to go now. What I mean by that, they're very hard to break down. Now, for all the opportunities, and they had opportunities, CF Montreal, the Revolution made it difficult on them. They absolutely did. Everyone knows their role. So that's what I mean by buying in to Marco's system. The players are buying in. There really are no passengers. Even Will Sands, he's not a passenger. He's buying in. I just don't think he's good enough. So defensively, I think that they are fairly sound. What's been happening is, though, they are obviously making mistakes that we've seen in other matches. But defensively, difficult to break down. And then on the counter, very quick and creating scoring opportunities. And that's what you want to see. And obviously, they have taken to the set pieces. They're doing an excellent job. So they are buying into this. And that, to me, is such a positive coming out of this match, watching it, thinking this is not a team that is easy to break down. Even when I watched them against St. Louis took advantage of mistakes, but they were, again, it wasn't easy for them in that first half. As the match went on, it got easier, but they're getting there. But the big thing is, if you don't have buy-in, you're screwed. The Revs players are buying in. That's a huge positive sign to come out of this match. Obviously, listen, the performance is what it is. It might not be to everyone's cup of tea because it's not free-flowing football, or if you want to call it soccer. I call it football. That's why it's the name of the show. But you know what? it's on its way to being effective. And that to me is encouraging. Okay. Coming up next, I'm going to give you my number one takeaway from this victory, and I'll end with man of the match. Okay. So, my number one takeaway from this 3-0 victory for the Revs against CF Montreal is this. As I mentioned in my number two, the Revs right now are a work in progress that plays much better on the counterattack. They do. They play much better on the counter. I explained why. But I just want to mention this, that ultimately, to be where they want to be, where the Revs want to be, they're going to have to be a team that can dominate the ball too. Right now, they just can't do it. Right now, simply, that's not their strength. Their strength is, believe it or not, defending. Their shape is very good defending, and then breaking forward quickly in transition. Doing a great job of that. Very dangerous. Luca Langoni is very dangerous. Carlos Gil's getting into very good positions. Once you get him the ball, everything flows on the counter. This is the strength right now. And I know this because, again, not everyone likes a team that is very good counterattacking, that is really the best way that they have to go forward. But right now, that's the Revolution. They are not a team that right now can dominate the play, slowly build up, and then break you down. That's not who they are. It might be who they might become over the course of time as they get into the system with Marko Mitrovic. But right now, they are very good on the counter, and we should be embracing that and understand that this is how they can get the advantage in these matches. This is when the play breaks down from the opposition and they're breaking, got to take advantage of it. And we saw that again. Now, we're seeing that more at home than we are away. They need to be doing the same thing away as well. But again, I've seen this too many times. Supporters might not appreciate a counterattacking team. I can, because I've actually learned to appreciate when a team can be very good counterattacking, maybe not as great simply breaking a team down. And that's where we are with the Revolution. The way Mitrovic wants to play, ultimately, he wants to be able to dominate the ball. But right now, he doesn't have the team at that level yet. So how can you beat an opponent on the counter? Simple. On the counter, and being deadly on the counter and on set pieces. That's exactly what they're doing. They're scoring off set pieces and they're scoring on counterattacks. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And when you see opponents coming to Gillette Stadium, instead of the Revolution be the dominant team dominating the play, you might see them. I'm not saying they're not sitting back, but they're going to be taking their time and taking their shots on the counterattack. You just might not see the build-up play that generally a home team you want to see from. And I think that might be frustrating. And I get that. But for me, like I said, the Revolution, even though it's not showing right now, but overall, I think this will help them on the road, being a counterattacking team. It's not showing up yet. But at home, it's obviously showing up. And I'm telling you, this is just the beginning stages of Mitrovic, and you got to be patient, because going forward, again, not great. The performance overall, you could argue, wasn't great. But I look at it a little bit differently. Defensively, fairly solid. A goalkeeper who did his job. Some misfortune from CF Montreal. And like I said, counterattacking and defensively sound. You know, that's going to win your matches. And we saw that, scoring off the set pieces. All of that, it all adds up. And, you know, I think the Revolution are going to have a problem when Leo Campagna comes back, because I don't know who is going to be out from the starting lineup at that point, because right now, Luca Langoni has to play. I'll just say that, and Turgeman too. So some interesting issues for the Revolution. Okay. And to finish up this episode, let's go to man of the match. I gave this some thought. I've already mentioned Luca Langoni as a player that I think played very well. You can look at him, obviously. Again, Eli Feingold set up the first goal. I was thinking about him. But I'm actually going to go with Matt Turner. Matt Turner made some very good saves. Matt Turner, I thought, was very good in this match. Did he deserve a clean sheet? Maybe not, because I think they got a little fortunate. I think they absolutely did. But I'm going to give it to Matt Turner. He was my man of the match. That's my man of the match for my first show exclusively talking about the New England Revolution. It's Matt Turner. All right. Well, listen, that's going to do it for my second episode of Football's Global Hub. And I'll have many other episodes. But this is my first one that I'm doing exclusively about a Revolution match. I hope you liked it. And if you do, please do subscribe on Spotify. Like I said, I'm not on Apple Podcasts yet. I will get there, but I'm not. And also, please just subscribe on YouTube. I have a little scroll going down there. And please do subscribe on YouTube. Definitely would appreciate that. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. My name's Russ Goldman. Thank you, as always, for watching and listening to Football's Global Hub.